Hello and welcome to Azam Shah Weekly. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what exactly is the MVVM design pattern and how you can accommodate MVVM design pattern in your iOS applications. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, the definition of MVVM. MVVM stands for Model, View, View Model. So model, view, view model. But what is all of that stuff? What is model, what is view, and what is view model? Let's start with the model. A model is simply a model, a class, or a structure that is representing your domain or an entity of the domain. So let's say if you're building a movie website, your model might represent a movie, like over here. It represents a movie that consists of a name, a genre, date release, producer, director, and so on. Now, obviously, a model can have other information like list of actors, the total budget of the movie, and so on. You can get the model or access to the model using a web APIs, or if you have persisted those information in the database records, you can get those things from the database and convert it to model or populate the model. So model is your domain logic, model are your classes, your structure that represents your domain. When we're working with the movies, we might have a movie model. If you're working with customers, we might have a model called customer, singular, which will represent or which will be used as a blueprint for all the customers. View. Now, view is something that you see on the screen. So it depends on what kind of a device you're using, or even if you're using browser, then the view becomes your whatever you see in the browser. Now over here you can see that we're running this on iPhone, and this is our view. This is something that we see on the screen, on the device. It can be Android device, it can be iPhone. Something that you visually see with your eyes is a view. So over here we have a view that gives us a little bit more information about the name of the movie, the genre of the movie, the date release, and the director's name. This is the view. But if that's the view and the model is actually the business logic, then what exactly is the view model? Well, the view model is also a model, but the only job of view model is to kind of like power up the view, which means to provide the data to the view. So right now you can see that the data or the view consists of the name, the genre, the date release, and director name. And we have a view model to support that. The view model will populate itself using the model and then give that data to the view. Now, the reason that we don't put view and model together is that the model might be completely different. A model might have some properties that we don't want to be displayed on the view. So that's why, to accommodate those things, we have created a view model which is very specific to the view, which can provide all the information, all the data to the view itself. You can see that the view model that we have on the left-hand side, which is a movie detail view model, contains all of those properties that we need to display on the view on the right-hand side. The name is Top Gun, the genre is action, the date release is June 26, 2010, which is actually wrong, and director's name is Joseph. So all of those things, all of that data is actually provided by the view model to the view. Now, one thing to be sure and one thing to note over here is that the view model is not only responsible for providing data to the view, but it is also responsible for triggering actions, meaning maintaining the state of the view. This means that if I go ahead and add a new favorite checkbox, which I can do check and uncheck, then I have to update my view model to accommodate those changes. You can see at the last one, the last property that I added is favorite. And whenever the person clicks is favorite on the view, then I have to update that property in my view model from false to true. This is all great, but the main question still remains that how do we populate the view model? if view model, do we have to use the view model to call a web service or access the database and populate the view model? No, 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 no. You're going to populate the view model, which in this case is movie detail view model, by using the model, which is already populated from the database or from a web API from somewhere. But now the question is how. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so movie, which is actually a model, a domain logic, a domain business object, is already populated, and we are assuming that it got populated from JSON API or from a database or someplace. It can be used, and our view model can be updated to reflect those. And now, in order to create a view model, we need to pass in a model. You can see that in the initializer, we're passing in a movie model. And then when we pass in the movie model, we extract the properties of that model in the form of the properties in the view model. And we give those properties back to the view. The view will never directly talk to the model. View can only talk to the view model. View model will talk to the view. View will never talk to the actual model. All right? Your view model will not be responsible for making a request to the web service and getting the data. Your view model will not be responsible for accessing the database. So all of these things are very, very important, because the only job of a view model is to provide the data to the view and also keep track of the different state changes of the view. So if I check mark is favorite, then the view model should reflect that. The great news is that in the SwiftUI, they included the bindable or object bindable and binding properties and state, which definitely can be used to create and to maintain the state of our view models. And that I have explained that in a couple of my examples in my course. Lastly, the MVVM is just a fancy name for a presentation model. It's very, very similar. The MVVM only uses different technologies, and that's why they call it MVVM. So MVVM is a term that is actually used in the Microsoft community, and they use it to when they're working with WPF framework, which is a Windows presentation, or Silverlight when it was available. But the concept behind the presentation model and the MVVM is exactly the same, is that the MVVM uses a particular technology to implement those things. All right, so if anybody tells you about the presentation model, it's exactly the same as MVVM. So in SwiftUI or in iOS, we call it MVVM because, well, especially in SwiftUI, we are using bindables and all those things, which kind of helps us to create this kind of a bindable scenario. So this is it. This is the definition of MVVM. I know that if you're an iOS developer, MVVM might be difficult to understand, but from a Microsoft community or from a Microsoft standpoint and in Microsoft teams and development, it has been used for more than a decade now. So it's very, very common to use MVVM pattern when you're implementing your WPF application especially. All right. So that's pretty much it. Now, one last thing that I want to talk about. Hey, if you like my videos and want to support my work, then check out my latest course, SwiftUI Declarative Interfaces for any Apple device. It is hosted on Udemy. It is around 7 hours of course, and I keep on adding new content as I learn new things about SwiftUI. SwiftUI is a new framework from Apple, and this is the future direction of if you want to create interfaces for your iOS applications. Check out different sections. You have state and binding. You even have understanding MVVM design pattern, and we will also go ahead and implement a complete news application using web APIs and MVVM. And then it will dive into gestures, property wrappers, form, modals, and so much more. So if you want to support my work, the best way would be to buy this course or any of the other courses. You will find a lot of links in the YouTube description, but please do click on the link to apply the coupon. You will get the best price, and if you use my coupon, then it will be really awesome because I will get to keep like 90% of the amount that you pay, which is only $9.99. You will get the best deal anyways. All right? So check out the YouTube description, click on the link, and the link will apply the coupon automatically, and then you can buy the course. Check out my other courses also if you're interested in augmented reality or blockchain development and all of those stuff. You can find the courses as well. So thank you so much, and if you have any questions, please let me know.